My name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome again, my lovely Form 1 students, in our proceeding topic known as cell structure and organization. We have already covered on our first, second subtopic, which was the concept of the cell as well as the types of the cell. Now let us start on our third subtopic, which is animal and plant cell. Welcome. The animal and the plant cell. Both plant and animal are made up of eukaryotic cell. We have already discussed on the types of cell, where we see the two types of cell was prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. And eukaryotic cell, this was a cell that have two nuclei, since it have nuclear membrane, and it consists of two types of organism. The unicellular example was euglena in bacteria, also the multicellular like plant and the human being. So plants and animal make up the eukaryotic cell, meaning that they have two nucleus. Now, however, this cell can differ in their structure and function. These two cells, they can differ in structure and function because there are difference between the plant and animal. They do differ in function as well as in structure. So now let us, how do this cell or structure, they do differ in their organism and their function. Now, by starting with the animal cell. The animal cell here, as the name first comprise, meaning that these are the cells which are found in animal. Example, human being, cow. Those all animals are made up of this animal cell. Now, by considering on the figure here, this figure shows the diagram of animal cell as seen under light microscope. The light microscope, the one which uses light so as to magnify the specimen which cannot be seen by using the naked eye. So take an example, this was hii hapa ilikuwa ni either ni tissue ya example ya animal, tukamchukua tukamobserve under microscope. So this is the structure ambayo tumeipata when we magnify it. So this is the structure of the animal cell as seen under the light microscope. Here it is made of the mitochondria. The mitochondria, this is known as the powerhouse of the cell. We will see why is it called the powerhouse of the cell. The other one is cytoplasm. This hapa yenyewe inakuwa ni fluid where the organisms are suspended. This hapa yenye rangi ya purple ni nuclear, which contain the genetic material, chromosome and so forth, DNA. And this one yenye rangi ya yellow, orange yellow, hii hapa ni cell membrane, which encloses all the organelles together. Now, let us see the function of part of animal cell. Here we consider the components we have already discussed on how they do function. Namna gani zinakuwa zinafanya kazi katika seli ya nyama. Now, by starting with the membrane, that was the orange colored. So, it is a thin layer that encloses the whole cell. Yenyewe ni thin layer. It is thinner, meaning that it's permeable. It is permeable for some substances which are necessary to pass through and impermeable for other of the substances. It is permeable layer that encloses the whole cell. The membrane is made up of two layers of lipid and protein molecule, or in other terms it is called the phospholipid layer, meaning that it is made up of two layers of protein and lipid. This phospholipid layer play an important role in this cell, meaning that this membrane is flexible and impermeable, meaning that it is flexible and impermeable, meaning that it allows some substance to pass and does not allow other substance to pass through. So impermeable means it allows certain substance to pass in and out of the cell and does not allow other substance to pass out or in the cell. Flexibility of animal cell membrane and lack of cell wall give is irregular shape. We have already seen on our structure that structure, it has irregular shape. It's like spherical but not complete sphere, meaning that it's because of the flexibility, meaning that it can change shape irregularly depending on the type of the animal it is. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu the cell membrane, it is very flexible na vile vile haina cell wall, as tukavyoona kwa animal cell, plant cell ambaye yeye anakuwa na cell wall ambayo ni very very rigid, ambayo inakuwa ina provide the shape ambayo ni ina provide shape imara ambayo haiwezi ka change, na hivyo inafanya plant cell kuwa na fixed shape ambayo sio irregular. Yenyewe plant anakuwa na regular shape. Other one is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, this is a fluid. So it's a jelly-like substance made up of water and dissolved chemical substance. So cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance made up of water and dissolved chemical substance. It is where all organisms are suspended. And why the cytoplasm is set for many chemical reactions in the cell. It is where the respiration process are taking place. It is where the excretion process are taking place. It is where the reproductive process are taking place within the cytoplasm in the cell of animal cell. Now, cell organisms such as vacuole ambao ndo excretion inakuwa take place are found within the cytoplasm. That's why we say that it's set for many chemical reactions. So excretion process are taking place in the cytoplasm. Mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, meaning that catabolism and anabolism process, breaking down and building of the substance, are taking place within the cytoplasm. The nucleus are suspended in the cytoplasm. Nucleus, which contains the hereditary material, which can be transmitted from one generation to the another, is also suspended within the cytoplasm. The other one is nucleus. The nucleus, this is the largest and mostly important and mostly complicated or complex structure which are important for living things. So this is a spherical organism suspended in the cytoplasm. The nucleus consists of nucleolus and fluid called the nucleoplasm. So the nucleus, within the nucleus there is a nucleus, ambayo nucleus yenyewe ambayo ndio mile imecontain hereditary material tunaita nini? Ni nucleolus, ambayo ndio mule kuna DNA na kuna chromosome. And the fluid ambayo inakuwa ina surround the nucleoplasm inakuwa inaitwa the nuclear nucleoplasm, ambayo in outside kuna nuclear membrane. It is surrounded by membrane called the nuclear membrane. Now let us see what are the function of the nucleus in animal cell. It determine the chemical process that take place in the cell. Kwa hiyo nucleus yenyewe ndio inakuwa ina determine chemical reaction zipi zi take place, either kama ni hereditary, either kama ni reproduction, either kama ni respiration. It is all about the nucleus yenyewe ndio inakuwa ina determine. Either protein synthesis, it is all about the nucleus. Also, it control function of all part of the cell. This one hapa ndio kama battery. Nucleus function as a battery. Kwa hiyo yenyewe inakuwa operator au machine ambayo ina control shughuli zote zinazofanyika ndani ya cell. Also, to determine the shape, the cell size, shape and function. Vile vile nucleus yenyewe inakuwa ina determine the size, shape as well as the function. Also, to determine the hereditary characteristic of the cell because it contains the hereditary material. There are some nuclei which have the RNA and DNA only. There are some which have both RNA and DNA, depending on the type of animal. The other one is cell vacuole. The cell vacuole are fluid-filled space bound by membrane. These are fluid-filled space ambazo zenyewe zinakuwa zina membrane. They have membrane-bound organelles. So animal cells are very small and temporary vacuole, mainly used to secrete and excrete waste from the cell. Kwa wanyama wenyewe wanakuwa na vacuole ambao ni ndogo na temporary, ambao kazi yake ni kusecrete and excrete waste from the cell. Mitochondria. Mitochondria, this is the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called the powerhouse of the cell? It's because it's where the anabolic catabolism activity are taking place inside the cell. So these are oval-shaped organisms that have two membranes. The outer is smooth and inner is folded into crystal. So this mitochondria inakuwa ina two membrane. The outer membrane and inner membrane. The outer membrane ni thinner. Why is it thinner? To allow the entrance of the substance. While the inner one is folded into structure known as crystal. This crystal kazi yake ni increase the surface, to maximize the surface area for cellular activities, for other cellular activities. So the role of mitochondria is to produce the energy for the cell. So that's why it is called the powerhouse of the cell. It's where the respiration are taking place during the Krebs cycle. It is where the Krebs cycle process are taking place ambayo ina providing energy. And that's why the mitochondria are called the powerhouse of the cell. Because the end of respiration is to produce energy which has to be used for body activities such as growth, development, reproduction, and others activity. And this is the structure of the mitochondria. It is made of two membrane. The outer one is thinner, as you see here, and the inner one is folded into structure known as crystal. This one, hii hapa yenye rangi ya wekundu, hii hapa ni crystal ambayo kazi yake ni to maximize surface area for catabolism or anabolic or cell activity to take place. And this one is the matrix. Why is it folded? It is folded kwa ajili ya kuongeza ku maximize the surface area, vile vile kuweza ku reduce the speed for anabolism, catabolism activity. So that is the structure of the mitochondria. Now let us consider the plant. We already look on the plant cell. We see that it has the irregular shape because of the flexibility of the cell membrane. Why this plant cell? It has the cell wall, meaning that it has the regular shape. That's why you see it look like this. It has a shape which is very regular. Also, now let us consider this component of plant cell. They same they have a nucleus, but when you review on the structure of the animal cell, you come to observe that the nucleus of the animal cell is located at the peripheral, meaning that ipo katikati. Lakini hapa ya plant cell ipo katikati. Also, vacuole. This plant cell ana large vacuole. As you see, it occupies a largest area pa katika plant cell. Lakini animal cell yeye anakuwa ana small na temporary cell kwa ajili ya excretion. Also, the chloroplast. Plant cell hakuwa na chloroplast, lakini hapa kwenye animal cell hakuwa na chloroplast, lakini kwa plant cell tuna chloroplast ambayo ina contain the chlorophyll kwa ajili ya photosynthesis process. Also, it has the cell membrane ambayo ipo inside. The cell membrane is to cover or to protect the content within the cell. Also, it has the cell wall. The component this cell wall was not present in the animal cell. We see why. Also, it has the mitochondria, very small mitochondria. Also, they have the cytoplasm, the same as in animal cell. Now let's look on how this plant cell differ from the plant cell. Okay. Similar to animal cell, plant cell have cell membrane, have cytoplasm, have nucleus, as well as mitochondria. The same as in the plant cell. So these are the common structure which are found for both plant and animal cell. But there's some structure like chloroplast you have observed there. There is cell wall. There is vacuole which is very larger, or as compared to that of the animal cell. Now let us see why the plant cell have this structure and animal cell like this structure. This organelle function in the same way those is animal. This structure, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, as well as mitochondria, they same on the same way as in the animal cell. But however, plant cell have additional structure which serve specific role in plant, and this additional structure are chloroplast, a cell wall, a vacuoles, and we will see on how they perform those roles. Now, by starting with the cell wall, this is the strongest covering made of cellulose surrounding the cell membrane. The plant cell roughage, plant cell wanatengenezwa na nyuzi. Na kuta kwenye mea kunakuwa kuna nyuzi. Na zile nyuzi they come from those tracheids. Now, this is the strongest covering made of cellulose surrounding the cell membrane. The cellulose is fully permeable. So this one is fully permeable. It is not semi-permeable as in cell membrane. It is fully permeable, meaning that it allows all substances to pass through. So it allows the passage of water and mineral salt. So the cell wall protects around the cell. So cell wall yenyewe na kazi yake ni kuweza kuiprotect na vile vile kuweza maintain the shape of the cell. The cell wall give the plant cell a definite shape. Because it is rigid, to provide a definite shape or a regular shape. While the cell membrane, which is found in animal cell, is flexible. And that's why plant cell, animal cell have the indefinite or irregular shape. Now let us look on the second component or second structure, which is chloroplast. The chloroplast, these are ovoorganisms that contain green pigment in a plant. Na yenyewe ni ovoorganism ambayo nipo katika mduara ambayo yenyewe imekuwa contain green pigment in a plant ambayo po green pigment inakuwa inaitwa chlorophyll. The function of chlorophyll is to increase the surface area for the absorption of sunlight for photosynthesis process. Sunlight is one of the requirements for the photosynthesis process. So the importance It is important the photosynthesis process. And what is photosynthesis? It is the process by which green plant do manufacture its own food by using the water, sunlight, as well as carbohydrate to produce the product, which is glucose as well as oxygen. So, photosynthesis is a process by which green plants make their own food. Chlorophyll absorbs light energy needed for photosynthesis, and it is commonly found in the leaf mesophyll. The leaf mesophyll as one of the leaf mesophyll inapatikana katika cortex of the leaf, ambayo inakuwa ina contain the largest amount of the chlorophyll. The other one is cell vacuole. The cell vacuole, plant cells have large and permanent vacuole that usually occupies the central part of the cell wall. The vacuole contains sap or fluid and surrounded by tonoplasty. So the vacuole contains the sap or fluid, vacuolar fluid, ambayo inabe surrounded by the tonoplast, nile membrane. So help plant to maintain their shape. So the vacuole also inasaidia plant katika maintenance of the shape, and that's why plant have the definite shape. Now let us see the similarity of plant and animal cell. Namna gani plant na animal cell wanakuwa nafanana? Both plants and animal cell have cell membrane, have cytoplasm, have nuclear, have cell vacuole and have mitochondria. Wote plant na animal cell wote wana nuclear, wote wana cell membrane, wote wana vacuole, wote wana mitochondria. So that is their similarity. Now let us see how do they differ. The difference between the animal and the plant cell. The plant cell have cell wall, but animal cell have no cell wall. You can judge why. Also, plant cell have chloroplast, but animal cell have no chloroplast. Chloroplast is needed for plant cell kwa ajili ya photosynthesis. Lakini animal, these are heterotroph, meaning organisms that depend on other organism for food source, meaning that wenyewe hawana chloroplast kwa sababu hawana uwezo kuweza kujitengenezea chakula chao wenyewe. And the plant cell have regular shape, but animal cell have irregular shape. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu this plant cell wenyewe wana vacuole, large vacuole ambayo ni permanent kwa ajili ya ku maintain the shape. Also they have the cell wall ambayo ni very rigid ambayo ina provide the definite shape. While the animal cell have irregular shape. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu wana flexible cell membrane ambayo yenyewe itakuwa ina change depending on the type of the organism. Also, plant cell have permanent large vacuole, but animal cell have small and temporary vacuole. Plant cells store food in form of starch, but animal store food in form of glycogen. Kwa hiyo plant cell kwa mfano kama mwindi anakuwa ana store food in form of starch, carbohydrate, lakini animal cell anakuwa ana store chakula chake in form of glycogen, glucose. Also, in plant cell, nucleus is placed in periphery, while in animal cell nucleus is in the central. Kwa katika plant cell the nucleus ipo katika, is not at the center, ipo katikati, lakini kwa animal cell nucleus ipo very central and very very large. Now, my lovely Form 1 students, up to now we have already covered on the animal and the plant cell. We will see the component of the animal and the plant cell. We see on how they do function, how the plant cell and animal cell are similar, and how plant cell and animal cell are differing. So now is just for you, my lovely Form 1 students. You have to take a note on it. Draw a diagram of animal cell and label the part which perform the following function. A. Site for energy production. B. The site that's control of all function of the cell. C. Where organisms are suspended. D. Allow passage of some substance. You have to draw, while you are labeling, you have to use this symbol A, B, C, and D instead of writing. You have to show that structure which is site for energy production, and then which is control of all function of the cell, C, where organisms are suspended, and D, which allow the passage of some substance. And that's marked the end of our today's subtopic. You are mostly welcome for keep on following other coming subtopic. Have a nice day.